Hello everyone, how you doing? So today we are going to talk about Bug Boy, aka the Egyptian god Khepri. Khepri, who was firstly mentioned in the pyramid texts around 6500 BC, is actually the oldest deity I have talked about on this channel to date. In this context, it is important to mention that while he appears to have been way older, he reached the height of his popularity in the so-called New Kingdom, which is describing the time period in Egypt between 1570 and 1070 BC. Khepri was often depicted as either a dung beetle or as a man with the head of a dung beetle. And by that I don't mean he has the head of the dung beetle, but his head is a literal dung beetle. And yes, this is an actual depiction, even if it just looks like I drew a beetle onto a man's head with my mad paint skills. Anyway, Khepri was a god that was closely associated with the sunrise or the morning sun. And now you might ask what the heck a dung beetle has to do with that. And the answer is quite fascinating. You see, the Egyptians saw that dung beetles rolled little balls of, well, dung, uphill, and made the connection that something has to roll the sun uphill as well as it rises. Another detail that plays a role here is that they had no idea where baby beetles actually come from, as they tend to lay eggs in the ground or their little dung balls. They just saw them spring up from the ground, which led them to believe that the beetles actually came from nothing, and therefore had something divine about them. Now, you probably think that this is ridiculous to believe such a thing, but it might surprise you that the concept of spontaneous generation, which postulated maggots just appearing from basically nothing, was still believed well into the 17th century. So, yeah. Khepri's name, which literally translates into come into being, also hints at the fact that he is associated with rebirth. Now, as much as I would like to say something about Khepri in relation to the other gods, it seems that his parentage, as well as what children he fathered, varies widely. I can tell you, however, that his place in the pantheon seems to have been quite high, as there are texts suggesting that he is older than most of the gods or has fathered them himself. Strangely enough, there was no cult worshipping Khepri, even though scarab necklaces, which are associated with him, were quite common. His role can also be seen by the fact that a statue of Khepri is seen in every major temple, and the scarab can often be seen in ancient texts many times as well. So anyway, that has been all there is to say about Khepri, the scarab of the sun. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. May the gods be with you, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.